Thursday was a huge day for Rivian. Congrats on the event, congrats on the reveal of the R2, but I did have a little Apple moment there. Wait a second, one more thing. There's one more thing, actually twice. Not only did they reveal the R2, but suddenly they revealed the R3. And after that, they revealed the R3X. Now, of course, those are future products. Those will be delivered after the launch of the R2, which, by the way, the launch of the R2 will only happen 2 years from now, in the first half of 2026. Now, we're going to talk about the specs of the R2, but I first want to have a small introduction. By the way, during the event, the stock went up. I think it reached 10% during that day. Right now, the stock is up 13% on the day. But during the event, we even tested the 20-day moving average a little bit. If you watch the event, you know that I opened a small trade position right before it. So quite happy with that gamble right now. But my stance right now is still the same with regards to Rivian. The bull case right now is do not go bankrupt. If you don't go bankrupt, then you have two paths. One, the path to success becomes a huge success. Two, does not reach success but gets acquired at a premium. That's the bullish case and the two path. That's just in my opinion, because remember, despite the great event, despite the great announcement, R2, R3, R3X, which by the way, huge missed opportunity in my opinion. They should have done R2 and D2, but yeah, I guess they have to hire me for these types of things. Anyways, remember last quarter, remember the reason why Rivian went down. Rivian went down because one, guidance wasn't great. Basically, they're not expected to grow in 2024. Of course, we know there's that production line upgrade happening in the summer. So that's one reason which should improve their margin profile in the future. So that's great. But currently, I mean, gross margin worse than before. Gross profit per unit delivered worse than before as well. Of course, year over year, we are seeing some improvements. But from the last couple of quarters, things were not going in the right direction. And if you look at net loss, for example, right? Yes, if this continues, then yes, they only have 6 quarters left. This is not Elon saying or predicting their bankruptcy. No, this is everybody that looks at the financials, looks at how much cash they still have left, looks at how much they are burning right now. And if things don't improve, just like he said 2 years ago, then they are going to run out of cash sooner rather than later. Now, of course, they can prevent that, right? That's why they're upgrading their production line. And that's probably why also the R2 will probably, hopefully have a better margin profile. Remember, this was not an investor day. This was a product release. So there were some technical announcements, but nothing extra, nothing out of the ordinary that say, oh, yeah, they're going to become extremely profitable. No, we only know the starting price. We know the batteries, what they're going to be, 4695, 46 millimeter in diameter and 95 millimeters tall. It's a structural battery pack, a bit like Tesla. But I do want to say one thing. It's that Rivian knows exactly how to market their cars. Something that Tesla can learn, because Tesla, it seems like their marketing department is also their engineering department. And in my opinion, engineers are not great salespeople, nor are they great marketeers. We've seen that with the first couple of YouTube ads that we've covered, right? Horrible, really not that appealing, way too much information flying on the screen. Rivian, on the other hand, you've seen their videos, right? It's all focused on their core audience, family and people that want to go on adventures. And it makes perfect sense, because those are the cars, those are the people that buy those cars. Makes perfect sense. But again, you have to make the differentiations here. One great product might not be a great investment. We've seen that with plenty of other companies out there. Sometimes you have a great product, but sometimes it just stays a great product and not a great investment. For Rivian, right now, we still don't know how profitable that R2 and even that R3 will be. We don't know. Great price for the consumer, great value for the consumer as well. But for a company, how profitable are they going to be? What's the margin going to be on that vehicle? We don't know. More on that later in this video. If you enjoy this type of videos, by the way, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe. If not, we really appreciate that. Want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So let's have a quick recap. R2 gets announced. By the way, they talked also about the charging network there. They say that 90% of charging starts at home. I had a conversation with someone on X, which basically said, talked with some friends. They say they're not going to buy an EV because they cannot charge at home. They're afraid that they're going to run out of gas, let's say, when they drive, and they want to have a charger at home. But since that's not possible, they skipped on the EV. Remember, people don't have petrol gas station at home either. You don't have to charge your car each and every day, unless you go on a huge road trip each and every day. But then again, you have superchargers now. Actually, in March, there are going to be Tesla superchargers available for Rivian, plus Rivian itself in the future. They're already working on that right now. The Rivian Adventure Network, they're going to have 600 charging locations in the future. And yes, it's going to be an open network. They also talked about renewable energy, their goal to reach 7 billion miles of renewable energy by 2030. We saw that wind turbine with the Rivian logo on that. I don't know, is that a partnership? Is that a new business revenue stream for them? I don't know, but okay, interesting, something to follow. But going back to the R2. So like I said, a 4695 battery, 46 millimeter in diameter, and 95 millimeter tall. This is a structural battery pack like Tesla. Great. Should make it more affordable, should make it easier for them to manufacture that car. There's going to be a single motor rear-wheel drive, a dual motor all-wheel drive, and a tri-motor. This one, you'll be able to go 0 to 60 under 3 seconds. And all 3 motor models will have over 300 miles of range. And that's an estimate right now. Things can change by the time you get that vehicle. They also said that there are 11 cameras on the R2 and 5 radars. They talked a little bit about self-driving. Remains to be seen how that works. But overall, as you've seen, this really looks like a type of EV ranch / Land Rover, which could be great. Could be great for families, could be great for people that love Range Rovers, like those big luxurious cars. And suddenly they want to make a switch to EVs, but want to have that same, let's say, car profile. R2, even R1S, although R1S is a bit bigger, as you can see, this is the difference between the R1S and the R2, a bit smaller, basically the same car, just a tiny bit smaller. So yeah, I mean, could work, but again, this was just a product reveal, not really an investor presentation. Maybe they'll have an investor day and reveal a bit more about the margin profile, the cost structure, etc., etc. But currently, Rivian is doing one thing much better than Tesla, and that's actually listening to the customer a bit more. I mean, clearly for some reason, I don't know, Rivian people love glove boxes, so they added 2 glove boxes to the R2. Okay, great. Again, more costs for the company, great for the customer. If you look at the windows, the thing for the windows at the rear, right, it goes down, there's some wind flowing through, great for the customer. But how much is that adding to production costs? Probably too much, right? Probably more than it should be. But right now, they want to delight the customer. So like I said, I will repeat that point again and again. Great products are not automatically great investments unless they make some major improvements on those production lines. Then suddenly out of nowhere, they talked about the smaller brother, the little brother, the not R2D2, but the R3, which is basically a smaller R2. So the R2 is a smaller R1S, the R3 is a smaller R2. Whenever that will come out, we don't know the price, we don't know anything about that car. And then suddenly they came out with the R3X, which is a tri-motor model, basically a more sporty looking car, a bit vintage, a bit retro at the back. Not my cup of tea, but okay, maybe some people will like it, maybe some won't. But again, they are tackling a very specific niche of a specific market. Yes, I think for the coming years, at least until 2030, that's just my opinion, their core market is going to be North America, and then maybe in the future they'll enter Europe. But I think North America is a pretty big market for them. Pickups, SUVs, smaller SUVs, things like that should be good enough for them if they manage to make it in a profitable way. Very important. Until the market actually gets the message that their margin profile is going to improve quite significantly, the price of the stock will not really move that much. That's just my opinion. So overall, to conclude, great event, great announcement, great surprises as well. Stock will do what the stock will do, right? Until for an investment standpoint, until you actually see the business improving, nothing should really matter. Nice announcements, things like that, that's great. You're probably going to see reservation numbers popping up. Again, this is just a $100 deposit that is fully refundable. So same thing with Tesla. Let's see what happens. Let's see how many people by 2026 actually go and buy those cars. Like I said in the live stream, a refresh Model Y is probably expected before that. And then the announcement of a compact Model 2 will be announced probably late 2025 as well. But Rivian is listening to their customers. Rivian is making fun, good-looking cars, which is also an important aspect of buying the car, right? Tesla, great car. I mean, best-selling car in the world is Model Y last year, despite not being the cheapest car in the market. But sometimes I do feel that they are maybe not over-exaggerating, but when you remove this torque from the steering wheel, when you introduce the yoke, stuff like that, removing too much probably scares away a lot of potential customers, because sometimes customers want to have something that they're used to. Remember, they have to drive the car. Now you can say, yeah, but with autonomous vehicles, etc., etc. Okay, those things will happen in the future, and probably when those things happens, maybe some people would not want to let the car drive itself. Remains to be seen. Again, I'm now going to talk about other stuff to keep this video as short as possible. Good event, great announcements. Not many extra details to change the thesis right now for Rivian. The bull case is still survive and thrive. And that's about it. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.